Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo Wednesday episode of Tarot Readings by Janine. You can tell by the poster something's up. So before we get into that, let me introduce, of course, my co-host for this evening's special broadcast. You can find Janine for now here at Sending Ravens on YouTube and also at Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hi, Janine. And of course, you can find Julie here at Maison Jupiter on YouTube and also on the web, where you can find these amazing new crystal infused natural crystals by Elena. So do go and check that out. Julie, welcome back to the show.
Hi, the two of you. Hi, everybody in the chat. Happy to be here.
Well, yes, we're happy to be here, but we could have better circumstances. So if you've been following us, first of all, thank you to everyone watching us live here too. I'm going to be monitoring now the Sending Ravens video as well, because it's no longer broadcasting on that side. Janine has just been placed in jail on the Sending Ravens channel, which means that she can, for now, no longer upload any videos. She cannot even make any community posts. And as you know, last week she had been completely demonetized also by YouTube. So there seems to be a trend here happening. So while I'm here, and just before I start, I will repost this comment here so that hopefully the people on the Sending Ravens channel waiting for this show to come up will see the link here and come over and watch this broadcast for now. Janine, you've been dealing with this for the last 2 weeks. You had your first stomach punch there 2 weekends ago when you learned that YouTube decided unilaterally to demonetize you completely. What just happened now with this strike, and how do you feel right now? I'm going to bring up a couple of ways how the audience can support you, but how are you feeling with this? I know, having gone through this myself, I know how difficult it is. Share with the audience here a little bit how you're feeling.
Yeah, it was quite a surprise. So I go to post a video last night. It was quite late last night. And I was going to post a little video. And sure enough, they said, no, you have a strike, which I didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go and read the details, and I got a strike from a video 8 or 10 months ago I put up. So they've got to be digging really deep into the channel to find, something I said wrong 8 or 10 months ago.
Yeah.
So that was a gut punch. It was like, really? So it seems to me like you're saying, they could be just wanting to take me down.
Yeah, because that tactic of first demonetizing and then trying to shake you up to adhere to their rules, they've done this to JSNIP4 also. And while he was trying to look to see what he could do, he then got the first strike, wasn't able to post, and then 2 or 3 days later had 2 or 3 strikes at the same time, again for much, much, much older videos, and suddenly the whole channel was gone. So we're hoping right now, folks, that this is not going to happen to the Sending Ravens channel. Yeah. But it's very possible. And so we're going to ask for your support here tonight. We don't often talk about it in this way, but tonight we really hope that this is a, how do you say that?
Temporary?
Temporary, yes. But what I meant was a reality check for all of us here. Yeah. We're always this close away. Not only from having our lunch money taken away from us, and this is what just happened to you, but also not being here. This is the fight that we're fighting. It's economic warfare, it's censorship. And it, based on the last 2 months episodes of the Astro Woo, we saw that this was coming also. We actually put this in our stuff, that there was going to be a purge and more censorship here on these platforms, not just YouTube. And here we are now, personally, of course, dealing with it. So we are very, very thankful, of course, to all of our supporters. You guys make it possible for us to be here. And so as this is happening right now, we're trying to do, like I said, we're trying to do our best to keep the channel if we can. But again, things do happen. So if, and in the event here that we do lose the Sending Ravens channel, what we want to ask you to do, which is at free, no cost to you right now, is at least fill in here our mailing list, so that if this happens and we decide to broadcast from a different locations here for the Sending Ravens, you'll be notified. Because the problem is right now, Janine can no longer do community posts, and she can no longer access and talk to the people on Sending Ravens. And if they delete her, that's it. She can never talk to those 90,000 people anymore. So if you want to stay notified of all of these issues, let me just bring the link in the chat for you guys now. It's beyondmystic.net. /Janine. So very easy to remember. So that's the first thing you can do. Second thing here as well, Janine and I had retired this coupon code a little while back. As we had explained, with inflation, we were about to raise prices, but given what's happening now and perhaps the potentiality of us having to put more content here on Beyond Mystic here, if we get deleted from YouTube, we'd really appreciate it for those of you who have been thinking about purchasing the Insider Access Pass to please do so now. So we've given this new 10% coupon code live here, and the coupon code is Janine Jailbreak. And of course, these monies are also going to support Janine here in her fight to stay here in this battle. So understanding that the Insider Access Pass is not necessarily in the means of everyone, but there's a lot in there. And as you know, we just added the Astro Woo, the 12 episodes of the Astro Woo, which is worth in and of itself $400 on top of all the other content. So at $240 for the year here at $20 a month, it's still an amazing deal. But I understand for some people that's still a lot of money. And for those of you who want to support Janine here in this economic warfare battle, you can do so here at the link with our PayPal tip jar that you are all familiar with. So a big thank you to all of you guys again. And we've said this many times before. We're here because of you. We're all in this together. And it's an honor to be in this fight. And every time I've fallen down, I've always come up, come back up, and come back up stronger. And I have no doubt that Janine will also come back up stronger. But she needs your support now also. These are difficult days to go through. Julie, anything that's popping up in your field of view, how you're feeling about this, any relationship to perhaps some of the alignments of how perhaps this can go, or any advice for the audience here who might not realize how much they miss something until they actually lose something? What would you say to the audience?
Well, the first thing that came up in my mind when you guys were talking about that is the coming Mercury retrograde period. So we're already in shadow period, the pre-Mercury retrograde, and it's going to be effective on May 10. And Mercury is going to retrograde first in its own sign, which is Gemini, which is the sign of social media, of communication. So I was kind of expecting even more censorship, even more deletion of accounts. And and I think that the end of the retrograde, the post-retrograde, in fact, might be kind of resolving the issues that we've had. But I think the retrograde period is going to be even harder for all of us. So I'm happy that we're sticking together and that you're finding solution in order to help Janine.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was up till 1 a.m. last night trying to fix all this stuff for Janine. When she notified me yesterday that there was a problem, I dropped everything, of course, because I know how critical the first 24, 48 hours are in these battles. But let me bring up something also while I have you on the screen, Julie. We just recorded today the pay-per-view on the soul contracts. And in there, at some point, you were asking the question. Hey, let me bring Janine up. She's a little bit too low. You were asking the question about how many star seeds are in this Beyond Mystic community, and it came up at a quite high percentage rate. And so when you say we're all in this together, I understand that that's for a reason that I've been having my community deleted quite a few times, and now perhaps Janine. I think it's the strength of all of these star seeds put together that are also on top of the content that we produce, but it's the community coming together and how much impact they can have that is difficult perhaps for these players. What would you say to that, Julie? And then I'll ask Janine to put some cards on that too.
Well, definitely. And I saw a comment earlier. I'm going to find it back. It's like, oh yeah, I have it now. You know, Janine is doing something right when she's put in YouTube jail. So it's like, I feel like it's telling us that we're doing something very important. And like the most people that are joining in the movement, I think it's making it that much bigger and important and powerful. Mm-hmm. So for sure, we're being flagged, and we're being probably flagged as dangerous or like against the big plan. So I think for me, it's a sign that it's even more important with what we're doing right now with this community.
Right. Tater Tots is saying, Janine, I got you on Patreon. And you know what? It started here, my problems with YouTube, and eventually migrated to Patreon. Again, these are weird times that we're living here. But Janine, go back to the cards in terms of, is that perhaps why you're also being targeted? Not necessarily the information, but this beautiful starseed empowered community that is coming together on our shows and who are having a big impact. What can the cards have to say to that, and perhaps give them advice on how to maybe navigate here the next censorship battles that we're about to fight?
Yeah. So what I'm getting is that the word's getting out, and it's getting out to a lot of people, because that's a generosity card.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to have, 50,000 or less on there, they never ever paid attention to that channel.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm close to 100,000. They're paying attention. So it's like the bigger the word's getting out. So the truth's getting out to too many people. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah. But it does look like the outcome is we're going to win the battle, but we just got to get through these bumpy parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring. So I need to put.
If I can go back to what you were saying about the show that we just filmed today,
Yeah.
The what was it called? The Soul Contract pay-per-view. So
Right.
yeah, I was in order to prepare for that show, I was pulling some oracle cards in order to know what kind of question would be most benefit from the community, from the Beyond Mystic community. So I pulled the Starseed card and the Crossing the Threshold card. So I was like, oh, okay, so there's a lot of Starseeds in that community. So I think, so that's why I asked a bunch of questions about the Starseeds. And then we learned with Janine that it's a large percentage of you that are Starseeds. So meaning that we have a individual soul mission of personal growth, but also a collective mission of collective growth and helping raise frequency and awareness. So I think that's the one that's being really problematic for them right now.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's get into some of our show content for tonight. We have a lot on the slide deck. We're going to try to get through as much as possible. Again, big thank you to all of you in the PayPal tip jar, and also supporting us here through the beyondmystic.net/Janine page, where you have different options depending on where you are here on how to support Janine in this battle. I wanted to say also for tonight, for the PayPal tip jar, we do have an amazing pyramid here from Carla. This is Ruth. So let's see what Ruth is all about and who might be the lucky winner tonight.
Hi everyone, this is Carla from Ascension Organites, and today I have a new design for you again. Her name is Ruth. So Ruth to me is about inner strength, collecting that inner strength that we sometimes need to get through our days. So as you can see, I made her with different components. She has copper metals and brass metals together with seashell and tiger's eye crystal. So as we know, seashell, we've spoken about it before, is a very powerful stone because it holds the power of the ocean and the energies of the ocean. And tiger's eye is great for protection, self-confidence, and self-strength, as well as self-motivation. She also has the flower of light sign in gold. I'll give her a quick turnaround. And there she is. I hope you guys like her, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Inner strength. That's what we need right now. So thank you so much, Carla. I really appreciate that. Right on point with your new creation. This is a brand new design, by the way. Save 10% here using the coupon code BeyondMystic for you guys. And you can find those creations also here at AscensionOrganites.com. Julie, let's get into the meat of the subject matter tonight. Of course, we've been talking about these eclipses, but tonight we really wanted to dive into the concept of the male and the female being eclipsed here based on if it was a solar or lunar eclipse. Can you first explain that concept? We've talked about it, I think, in the last pay-per-view, but for this audience here, and then let's get drill into perhaps who these characters might be that might be eclipsed here very soon.
Yeah, so in ancient astrology, they used to say that during a solar eclipse, so solar, the sun is more linked to the male energy. So during a solar eclipse, a male public figure would be eclipsed usually. And during a lunar eclipse, it would be a female because the moon is linked to the female energy. So I kind of looked at a lot of people on the public stage, so to see if those eclipses were hitting an important point on their birth chart. So what I got was kind of interesting, I have to say. So the first one, there's not a lot of public figures that I found that were being activated with the first one, but the second one, as you can see, there's quite a bit. So the first one, what I saw was Mr. P. Francis. We'll speak in codes. Mr. P. Francis, this eclipse on April 30th, the solar eclipse, it conjuncts his natal Uranus in the 10th house. So that's important because 10th house talks about your public image. It talks about your position, your public role. So it often is linked with your career. What do you do? What are you known for? So Uranus can talk about a sudden revelation of a change of status, a change of position. So I thought this one was interesting. And on the May 16 lunar eclipse, he is also targeted or activated with this eclipse. Yeah, if you can go back to the other one, thanks.
So this one here?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Fine. So yeah, so again, Mr. P. Francis, for the second one, the eclipse conjuncts his natal Black Moon Lilith in his 5th house. So I usually don't really look at that point, but for him it was really exact. So I kind of mentioned it because I think it's pretty interesting. So Black Moon Lilith in astrology is a point, and it has to do with your repressed sexuality. So 5th house is the house of children. So for sure it's going to be secrets revealed about repressed sexuality and yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So then second public figure on May 16 is Queen Bee. And this lunar eclipse exactly conjuncts her midheaven. So midheaven is where your 10th house starts in astrology. 10th house, again, is your career, your public image, your position. So sudden change of status, change of position, or an ending, because let's not forget a lunar eclipse is a full moon eclipse. So we're closing out a cycle. So an ending of a cycle, of a position, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I checked B. Obama's chart. So this eclipse conjuncts his midheaven again. So you see there's like a common theme here of it's not them, their identity that's being changed. It's their public position. So affecting their reputation because some stuff is coming out,
Mm-hmm.
And also I looked at Mrs. HC, and it conjuncts her AC. So the AC is your ascendant. So for her, it's more related to her identity and how people sees her, because your ascendant is like the mask you have and how people see you, your costume to the world. So for her, is going to affect how people views her.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's quite a bunch of people, as you can see. So there's Mr. JB. So for him, it conjuncts his sun. So that's very, he's being very activated personally with this eclipse. So conjuncting your sun in the 12th house. So that could be disappearing. 12th house disappears materially.
Mm-hmm.
Sun is your identity or your vital force. And lastly, our Mr. T. This eclipse conjuncts his IC. So your IC starts your 4th house. So it's the bottom of your chart, the bottom of your sky, as we call it. So the 4th house is the part in your birth chart where it's hidden. So it's like coming out of secrecy, coming out of the background and coming into the light, because an eclipse always shines a light on something. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff coming.
Okay. Do we want to ask specific questions for these characters? Do you want to do a generic poll right now, Janine, to see where perhaps this is landing on the male figures or the female figures? Like, how do you want to?
Let's just start with what's that first one? What can we see? See if we can get any more details about who's eclipsing, if anybody is like that. And I really thought it was interesting with the May 16th one. So it looks like Mr. B, as I call him,
Mm-hmm.
it disappears. And while Julie was saying that, I literally just went into a fantasy that they disappear him literally, and he just doesn't show up for work or anyway. And like, they just don't say anything. They just let everybody deal with the fact that he's not there. And then they step up Mr. T. Wouldn't that be dream come true. Like,
Oh yeah.
Right.
disappear. Don't even say what the heck happened. Just he's gone. He exits left stage. Oh, that'd be so
Interesting.
fantasy. But let's start with April 30th, and I'll just see what I get around it with the cards, and then
Okay.
we'll do May 16th, and we'll just see if we're going to see anything or the cards want to tell us anything about that.
Okay,
Cool.
sounds good. While you do that, Janine, hold on for just a second here. I had quite a few people asking me, Smiling Eyes, would someone tell me what the 10% coupon code is for the pass? And Linda, what is the discount code? Okay, so let me bring that back up, guys. If you just go to beyondmystic.net/Janine, I'm going to bring that link back in the live chat now. The options there to support her are all on the same page. So the notification list in case she loses the channel, the link to the coupon code. The coupon code is Janine Jailbreak. This will give you 10% off of the Insider Access Pass membership. If you go there, this is what you'll see. And you'll see here the total library that is included in that. This is a 1-year pass. And then last but not least, of course, you have the link to the PayPal tip jar. As per usual, you can support Janine that way as well. So big thank you to all of you considering supporting here in this particular time of need. Janine, so let's look at April 30th first.
Well, it's interesting. There's certainly some spiritual and karmic things connected to that time around our world situation. That's the karma card. That's spiritual energy being very directed on the earth plane. So we're going to have a lot of activity, and we've got this ace in the middle. So it's going to be really creative. So that's another interesting thing. And underneath, the potential of eclipsing would be more of a female figure, but maybe it's because, so that could be the queen, actually, Queenie, but or a powerful woman figure. But I mean, don't forget that we're not always sure the women are women. They just present as. So, you know, there's actually quite a lot of deep dives been done on was the queen a male upon birth. Yeah, look into it, but it's fascinating. But anyway, so that maybe, like, I'm not getting unless Pope, that guy, Pope F, is a female at birth. I mean, right?
Anything's possible.
Right? Like, so the cards are really more honest. Like, they'll tell you like it is. So there's a famous female figure that looks like that's who might get eclipsed here, is what I'm getting. And the other way you could read it is their reputation changes because the outcome is, you know, something about them you didn't know before. Something comes out really clear to everybody. So that could be the news that she was gone a long time ago, the news that she was actually a male at birth and some kind of proof comes out, or the news that something that eclipses maybe her reputation. That's more what this looks like.
Wow.
Or out somebody. And that female could be that could even be H. Clinton. Right? So we got a very big, who appears to be in the public, a female, and or who could literally be a female. So that doesn't really answer our question, but it does look like there's going to be some big outing of somebody on that day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And let's pull some cards also now for the May 16 eclipse. A lot of characters on the list there as well. And folks, if you're just joining us now, you're wondering what's happening with the Ascending Ravens, because I see a few people commenting yet on the other side. Janine's in jail and can no longer post there. She was demonetized last week, of course, and now she has a strike. And we're hoping that we can resolve the situation. But in the meantime, we're asking for your support here, and you can join us at beyondmystic.net/Janine. It's on the screen now. There's a couple of options in there for you to stay connected with us and also to support Janine here with this economic warfare battle that we are fighting. So a big thank you to all of you. Janine, so May 16.
More information coming out, possibly about gender swapping again. So that's interesting. Seems to be a theme here. And that, in a way, wasn't Cliff getting something about the outing of Hollywood or famous people?
Yes, he did. And he just had this interview on Craig Hunter the other day. He talked about too that this narrative won't survive here very much longer. Keep going, Jenny.
Yeah. It feels like we might have somebody known in the public who could have been known as a figure of great beauty and some kind of truth about them come out, or sort of like a lover. So the lover type archetype. So somebody everybody lusts after, or so that's sounding a little Hollywood to me.
Or maybe Big Mike. Don't
Sorry.
even get started.
I looked at this individual's chart and I didn't see anything special. So unless I have the wrong birth information.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's very unique though. So it's a unique outing and could be uniquely like outing something that's very unique in society. Well, that sounds like most regular folks who aren't watching videos like this have no idea that they're lusting after people that have been gender swapped. Right. And most of them have been. If they're big names and they're all over the magazines, those females you're lusting after, or those guys could have been totally the opposite sex when they were born. And that is not a very, like that's for deep divers. That's for people like us. So that we might be talking about an outing like that, which would eclipse somebody's reputation and or like at least your version of who you thought they were.
Right.
Or
that whole deception when it comes to light, people like can't believe they've been deceived, but on top of that, they think of all the sexual dysfunction that comes with the fact that you've been deceiving and lusting after perhaps the same sex when that was not originally your intention. So that's a big. Remember the movie Crying? Was it Crying Game or the guy that? Or Train Spotting? I forget which movie it was, but at any rate, Darlene says, "LOL, JC." She was laughing at my Big Mike comment, and Peter Todd's also laughing. Okay, we have to have fun a little bit with these crazy topics we're in. Okay, Julie, anything else you want to add on that? You want me to move over?
Well, I just wanted to say that Scorpio, which is the sign in which the second eclipse is in, it rules sexuality and genders. So yes, it makes a lot of sense for me.
Yeah.
And also secrets of the elites and people in power. It rules power, also financial secrets. So yeah, I'm expecting. And again, I just want to say it's not a one day wonder. An eclipse is like an unfolding that can last a month or so. It could be weeks before, it could be 2 weeks after. So because sometimes it happens the date that I set the alignment for, and people are like, nothing happened. But like astrology doesn't work with dates. It works with like an energy wave.
Okay, very good. Let's move into one of the main topics. I'm getting a lot of emails on here. I just recorded the pay-per-view with Jim Willie, the uncensored version, the other day. He broke down in quite a bit of details what he sees and what Cliff High is seeing as some engineering here in terms of our food shortages. Now, again, here in the news today, these chronic shortages of a few items now will evolve to chronic shortages of hundreds of items. This is where it was reported on Zero Hedge. And in my conversation last night, if you guys haven't seen it, with Penny Kelly, absolutely amazing show, we talked about that too, about how we need to try our best here to decentralize some of that production system and be a little bit more self-sufficient here so that we can move through and navigate some of the things to come. Now, she also said that this is not going to be ubiquitous across the board, but there are going to be, as Janine was saying also for months now, these sporadic events here of shortages across the planet, depending on where you reside. So and so all the emails in the last couple of days were like, JC, my location, ask Janine. Okay, so I can't possibly answer everybody's emails in terms of the locations, but Janine, can we maybe take the pulse again here on the idea of food shortages, where we're at now? Because we know there's good guys working to try to prevent some of the destruction that happened in the theater of war, and for that to not affect our shortages. But at the same time, we just saw the other day 60 million pounds of beef was recalled for E. coli just in the United States. That was 2 days ago. So we're seeing this huge battle here to try to mess with our food supply. Let's take a pulse and let the audience know where we're at in that fight.
By the way, that show with Penny Kelly was really good. Good job.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I did too. Okay, so we've got interesting. So in this case, often this is my off-worlder card, but I'm getting it in this case around the situation where we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable to food shortages, but you're right to say that there's good energy entities in the background working on our behalf, or have already been doing the work in the background to help make this not as bad. Okay, but it will affect. You bet it'll affect. We're going to have food shortages with that card.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the near future outcome. We're going to have to tighten the belt, and that could be a good thing for me for sure. Sorry, like 20 pounds since 3 years ago. I'm blaming it on the lockdowns. But anyway, it's a good thing you're seeing me from here up. But, yeah, so we're going to have to like just be diligent in, putting a little aside, changing maybe how we're eating, maybe planting a garden this year. We will have to take some action if we want to be comfortable, because we're going to experience hardships and we're going to feel the loss of certain things. You bet. But this is the overview. Okay, so I'm thinking it's a lot shorter lived, so it's not years and years of it, and it's not anywhere near as bad as it could have been, but it's meant to happen, and it will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll experience 4 months of where we're really feeling it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Again, it's this convergences that are creating some of these emergencies and unintended consequences. So we're trying to warn you that perhaps it might not be easy in some places. It's always a good idea to be prepared. I'm a Boy Scout, so it's always been my motto: hope for the best, but do prepare for the worst. Okay. Thomas Klein, Jean-Claude, you're a man, right? What? How rude. If you guys know the Star Trek, Star Wars reference, of course. Oh my God, I had to make that mistake myself. Okay, I'm just having fun. All right, so Julie, do you have a question for Janine? Anything popping on your mind, either on the radar screen, anything in the news right now that you want to bring up? And while you do that, I will scan also the Discord channel and the PayPal tip jar for some questions.
Yeah, I kind of started this question. Well, it's not a question, but let's make it one. From Anita Spencer. She said Elon is spending money everywhere. YouTube will be next. So do you think YouTube will be his next investment?
Okay, so I'm just going to remind everybody, Jean-Claude and I looked at that. I think, was it Monday night, Jean-Claude?
I think so, yeah.
And we got that Elon was working, he's a front. And he's doing the front work of the White Hats, or he's somehow affiliated with them. And there's people behind him backing him up and putting him forward to do these, to buy these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it's even better news than it's just Elon Musk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what Cliff was saying to me and Joe the other day too, his understanding of all of this too, is that Elon is acting favorably as a disruptive agent, and that perhaps here there would be a connection between Twitter now with this new direction and also Truth Social to become this huge juggernaut of truth and non-censorship. So could you imagine that? So right now, all of this is still in the cards, but apparently the energy behind this is to disrupt the old gang and the centralization and the censorship and the ideology battles that we've been living here over the last couple of years. So very interesting for sure.
Okay, so we've got the 4 of, so it already looks like it might be secretly in the works. Okay, because this card says something, there's already some offers being made, and it's all been kept a secret. Already in some kind of alliance being struck between, right, secret deals, because the Lovers becomes partnerships with something. So there's already a secret deal. It's not 100% gone through yet, but it's in the works with that 4. Okay, something's already in the works, and yes, that's the outcome. So it's moving into, it looks like that's going to be a thing.
I'm very happy with that answer.
Wow, really cool.
I'm sure you guys are too.
Okay, here's a cool one. It's the first one that came on my deck, and I thought, oh, I'll bring it up because we actually talked about the concept of twin flames in the show today, the Janine Investigates Soul Contract. So if you guys haven't seen that, right now it's available for the Insider Access Pass members. Of course, you guys already have everything first, and it will be probably launched tomorrow morning for the general public with the pay-per-view. But the question is, let me see if I can bring this back up on the screen. Joseph Rogers, is my wife my twin flame? It's a tough question to ask on a live show when you asked it. So Janine, let's pull some cards on that, because I know we joked on the episode today that this was a major theme for you in the past couple of decades, reading for people. A lot of people were asking about this specific question. So Joseph is jumping the gun on the episode we did today. So let's see what we have for him.
I don't get technically the twin flame, but then I better explain, because we asked the cards about twin flame. Twin flames are not generally thought to be somebody you would have an actual relationship with. So twin flame and soulmate, different things. Okay, so a whole different ball game. Twin flames are often born, and actually I won't. I won't tell you what we got, but I'll just say that they're often energies, entities that exist coinciding with your lifetime, but not physically born, physically on Earth with you. So for her to be this fellow's twin flame, they wouldn't be alive. So if his partner's living, then no. And also they would have been born at the same time in another realm, let's say. Mm-hmm. So they're like a soul connection that's spiritually comes along with you in your lifetime, but not physically. So it's a whole different thing to physically have a mate, a physical, literal partner. That's a whole different thing. But whoever is asking that, them and their partner are really well matched as far as the spirit world says they've learned a lot together, and there was a lot of spiritual energy that helped them get together. So that sounds more like soul connected anyway. And very well, like the universe is very happy that they've spent the time they have spent, regardless if it was hard or not hard. It was necessary spiritually, and they learned a lot. So okay. That's interesting. And there could have been some hard times with that card in the middle, but I think that's par for the course for any relationship. There's always hardships because there's a surrender there. So yeah. I mean, somebody had to surrender, or both had to surrender certain things to make it work. Okay, which sounds like a relationship to me, right? And right. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, so I feel like they're going to have other lifetimes in the future together, and it'll change in their connection. Their connection will change as they go, but they're not done yet. They got destiny and future together as well.
Okay, wow. Joseph, I hope that helps. Let's go back to the news here. A lot of people were asking us about this, Janine, as we were recording the last Beyond Crypto Woo and the Astro Woo. We got into the finances and all of these convergences for the month of May. And a big part of both of these shows was the collateral or the unintended consequences of Russia backing the ruble with gold and forcing some of these adjacent countries to pay for their energy services with either ruble or gold. And now, for the longest time, they were resisting. And a lot of our mainstream media said, oh, that's preposterous. It's not going to work. How could he? Blah, 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 blah. But here we have now, we're at the point of capitulation. 4 of those European countries now, gas buyers, they folded. So they capitulated, and they are starting to pay now in rubles. So this is going to have, in my view here, a knockoff effect or an acceleration effect into what Jolie was forecasting in the astrology movements in silver and gold, because finally now the mainstream can't deny this anymore. They're losing this narrative that it wasn't changing the world and we hadn't supplanted Bretton Woods and all this stuff. Now it looks like momentum has started to move in that direction in earnest, and it's hard for them to ignore. So let's take a pulse here on if this is the turning point or one of those critical turning points that a lot of people in the chat have been waiting for, that would kick off some moves here in both silver and gold. And perhaps bank failures, I'll put it in there as well. That's what Jim Willie was referring to in his analysis as well. So let's see what the cards can pick up on that.
It's a big blow to the dreaded dark hats. I was almost going to say the C word. Anyway, so it's a big blow to them. So the bad guys are really disappointed. So that can't be bad. That's good for us, you guys. So the past, they did everything in their power to have that not happen. They were working 24/7 trying to get that not to happen. And they're still going to be in complete denial that it did happen. And they're going to hang on a little while longer, pretending it didn't. No, I don't know what you guys are talking about, right? Yeah. And then it absolutely comes out here. So I'm thinking even by the last day of April, it's a clear as a bell to everybody that we don't have the same financial system or what used to be the main system is, not operating anymore, because there's something new already by then. I'm thinking by the end of April.
Well, Cliff was talking about in his interview with Greg Hunter. Guys, go check it out. Really good interview. Honestly, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. But on the financial front, and just going back to these eclipses, he was seeing something happening around May 9th, I believe, that was registered in the data, but that might not or would probably not be registered in the mainstream news. Like, it would happen on or around the 9th. We wouldn't know about it, but we would probably know about it around the 19th. And I pointed out the fact that, okay, wow, the eclipse is right in the middle of those two dates. We're in that orb of influences there. Julie, can you, not necessarily with this chart here too, but remind to the audience members why this eclipse was so important, where it fell on the U.S. Natal chart, and why perhaps these days are much more critical than some people are giving credence to?
Well, I didn't check the US chart for this one, but I can tell you that the first eclipse is very closely conjunct to the planet Uranus, which is gives us surprises. It's like a curveball being thrown at us. So we never know exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be very sudden. It's like a tower card moment. And these are the first eclipses we're having in the financial axis. And we're going to have those eclipses for 1.5 years. So it starts the transformation right now of our financial system. So the first one, which is April 30th, I thought it would have to be something with the reevaluation of gold, because it is a solar eclipse. So solar equals gold. And then with the May 16 one, it has to do with disclosure, big revelations, secrets revealed. So lots of public figures being outed, lots of information, I think, being outed. I'm not quite sure yet how mainstream it's going to be disclosed. And I watched your interview with Penny Kelly, I think today, and she thought it wouldn't be mainstream yet. So I'm still not sure like how public it's going to be, the information, but for sure things are going to happen.
Okay, very good. And folks, let me just bring up the discount codes also for you guys. I know a lot of you are asking still about silver. So on the American side of the audience, beyondmystic.net/silver. Right now we have the 100-ounce silver RCM bars at $4.45, low spot price here, over spot price here at Miles Franklin, offered to you guys here for the Beyond Mystic audience. And also for the Canadian audience, you guys can have access to these 10-ounce PAM Swiss bars, this weekly special here for you guys at $5.99 over spot Canadian, and you can find that at mfbullion.ca. Now let's get back to our PayPal tip jar. First of all, a big thank you. I'm seeing a lot of you come in, beautiful messages. I'm gonna copy and paste all of this stuff for Janine. You guys are not asking questions, but giving heartfelt sentiments to Janine here. Really appreciate that. It's mind blowing and heartwarming all at the same time. So I will be sending Janine a report of all of this. Okay, so let's get to this question from Amy. She had a specific question. I had a dream last night where I woke up on, I think, a spaceship, and a man was inspecting me like I was a robot or being fixed, quote unquote. Can you tell me more about this dream? Amy Welcher, thank you so much for that donation. So dream, maybe not a dream, on board a ship, being inspected like a robot or being fixed. What the hell was going on with Amy Welcher, Janine?
Well, that was real. We got pentacles. We have a real thing there. So she was physically there, like that was a thing. So she was spending time in her like when she goes unconscious to sleep, she's spending time somewhere else. This is like she has 2 different places she goes. So Earth and then wherever that was in outer space there. She's been doing it for quite a while. So she has a whole nother job. She might even have a whole nother family in her other sort of endeavors. She might have even like literally a partner and a family, which we're starting to, it's almost like the universe is divulging to us now, because a lot of us are discovering this. It's quite fascinating. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So it's not a bad thing, by the way. And in the time off, she's some kind of a warrior. So isn't that interesting? Right. So I guess women can be warriors, or maybe she's doing that time as a male in that lifetime, but it's like she's living these 2 lifetimes. So she was physically actually there. She was literally, I'm thinking by the age of 6, she was already contacted and made the connections to be doing this kind of work. So like, I'm going to pull one on, well, what were they doing? What felt like she was being looked at like a robot. Let's see what they were doing. They were giving her some kind of psychic or intuitive or energetic upgrades. Wow.
I'm getting that we're having lots of those at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my Reiki healer told me last time. She was like, oh, you're getting an energetic upgrade with your DNA. And I was like, oh, so this might be collective.
Wow. Okay. Really cool. Next question, kind of along those lines. No, this one is about, okay, this one, whether it's the PayPal tip jar or the Insider Access Pass, this is a recurring question every night. I'm going to bring it up. It keeps coming up. Kristin, this one is from Kristin Robertson, asking, have I prepared enough with silver, crypto, and food storage for my family? Most of the times, people who ask this question have already done a lot more than the people who don't ask the question. But let's see, generally speaking, specifically speaking for Kristin, if she's done the preparations that was required of her. Janine.
Looking good. Looking good. This looks like, yeah. So she looks like she has enough for a couple of, that could be weeks. If you had, were cut off from everything, but up to a month here, it looks like, or even that could even mean 2 months. So it looks like she's prepared. So we've got that card. 4. So her advice, no, I think she's good, because this says stop piling it away. You're balanced. So yeah, I'm going to say she's good.
Okay. Again, most people asking, they've already done a lot of work and they think, have I done enough? But they have to realize that there's still a big segment of the population who've done nothing. And so in that case, if you think you've done enough for yourself, you might want to also top it off a little bit, knowing that perhaps your neighbor hasn't. And one of the big themes in the show we had last night with Penny Kelly and Janine, Julie, and I have been talking about this on the Astro Woo too, is that our communities need to come together here during this transition and help each other out. And if we do that, we have a much better chance here at going through all of this transition unscathed, and perhaps even better on the other side. So there's a lot of positivity there, but us working together is very important. Delberta Watson. So thank you so much, Delberta. Amazing tip. Her question is, JC, Janine, and Julie, I send you all the love and gratitude. Thank you. Question: does universe have a message as to why my healing clientele has slowed down? Do I need to do anything? Much love. Okay, so she's already actualized working on behalf of humanity, working as a healer. What's going on with the business here? Is it a location thing? Is it a timing thing? What can the cards say to Delberta?
She's being asked to slow down. It's a message from the universe, because she's been going great guns. She has all kinds of energy, but she needs to reserve it, because she's going to all of a sudden get really busy again. So she needs to take the rest when it comes and it's offered. and trust that exactly when she needs it, she's going to get really busy again. So rest up and get ready.
That's really good advice.
And I also pulled a card while Janine was pulling cards. So I got jump in, and it says adventure, say yes to change. So I think when it's going to start again, being busy, I think it's because she is going to change some stuff with maybe her method of doing the healing, maybe adding some stuff. So there's a change element involved.
Okay. Ace, JC, read Christina's Escontrias in the People's Service. Okay, I'll try to find that one. It's really hard because you guys always have a different name than your username, and it's hard to find. But you gave me a name. I'll try to find it. Let me see if I can quickly type that in. Oh my God. All right. Actually, wow. Okay, it's there. Okay, so let's see. Can I ask this question? Okay, let me see. Yes. Okay, that looks good. Tough one though. Okay, my daughter is recently divorced and now dating a new guy, and he already proposed. Okay, is this the right guy for my daughter? 1, 2, moving too fast for me. Love, like JC. Okay, so worried mother Christina here is asking about her daughter and this new guy in the picture, if he's the right guy for the daughter.
Okay. Somebody keeps texting me. Sorry,
guys.
guys.
Me too. Like there's a bunch of beeps and I don't know where they're coming from.
And they're texting from the show. Like they're telling us sorry about the situation. So it's like, please stop doing that.
While we're live, yes, please don't.
Yeah, stop it. This is interesting. I get how the mother is a little worried.
Yeah.
Surrender to, she's just being protective and loving her daughter. So like, it's totally understandable. It's too fast for her, but this is interesting. It does look like they are soul connected, and it won't be perfect and there's going to be issues. But in the big picture, I feel like they need to do the work. So whatever happens there, they got to be together and work this out. So it's meant to be whatever it ends up being, because they both have made an agreement, and they probably recognize the agreement on some level because they're going forward with it bravely. So it doesn't look like any kind of a big disaster, but it does look, it's necessary karmically. So let her do it.
Okay. I think that's good advice. Guys, if you're just joining us now and you're wondering what the hell's happening and why Janine's channel is not running, she's in jail. And so this is subsequent to being completely demonetized last week. Janine and I created this page here today to give you an outlet to, 1, support us if you can, and 2, to also join the mailing list here in case that channel does go down. We will be able to reach you and contact you and let you know from where Janine will be broadcasting next. This is at no cost to you, of course. BeyondMystic.net/Janine is the page. It's on the screen now. Let me bring that back up on the main screen. Julie, if you can do that. Oh, there you go. I have it. And also on that same page, Janine and I have resurrected here the coupon code for the Insider Access Pass. This is where, of course, we put all of our uncensored material for you guys. We've decided to put this back up on here as a token of our appreciation, but also as an outlet to you guys who want to support Janine in this battle. So the coupon code there is Janine Jailbreak, and that will give you 10% off of this Insider Access Pass. A big thank you again to all of you in the PayPal tip jar. Janine, we are 53 minutes into the show. Is there anything that was on your radar here, without respect to the censorship, but in the news in the last 2 days, that you thought, hey, I wanted to talk about this on Wednesday night? Do you remember? Is there anything, or is there anything now coming up that you'd like to share, or maybe put to the cards for the audience?
To be honest, I haven't even had a chance because I was too busy dealing with that situation and trying to, figure out what to do next. So I haven't really had a chance, but we could look at what the universe wants to say, because we got, some crazy stuff coming up here in May. So
okay, let's do that.
We should have a look and just see what do we need to know going into these eclipses and these big energy shifts.
Okay.
Retrogrades. We got a Mercury retrograde. That's always interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very good. And while okay, so while you pick the first cards of that, Janine, I'll go to you also, Julie. But Julie, can you give the audience members here an update? We launched these amazing candles, these crystal infused candles here on your show with Elena just last week or the week before. Where are you in the shipping process and the production here for everybody that's in the queue who've ordered these amazing crystals at MaisonJupiter.com?
I know she shipped some others today, but there was a lot of orders. So thank you everybody for for your support. We really appreciate it. She's doing the best she can, but obviously we're a little behind of what we were expecting to ship. So doing our best.
Doing our best. It's coming, guys. Don't worry. I had a damn picture somewhere of you, both of you, drowning in boxes everywhere. Oh yes, Janine, you got yours.
I got mine. Yeah, I have two of them. This one's intuition, and I also have magic, and they're just delicious.
Wow. Well, hey, guys, that's another thing. It's Janine's birthday this weekend, so perhaps another incentive for you here to support with the Insider Access Pass membership and give her a little bit of a thumbs up here for the weekend for all of this amazing content she produces with me on this channel. So anyways, go check it out. Janine Jailbreak is your 10% coupon code, and we have a few surprises for Janine. We're still working on that, Janine. So those candles you got there are not the bulk of it so far.
I'm really excited because I'm going to Banff for overnight.
Oh, very nice.
That's so cool.
With Ashley and my son. We're going to be a funny, like threesome of a weird mix, but we love each other and it'll be so much fun. Yeah, very so we're just going to go party in Banff overnight.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. So check this out. Okay, this is really exciting, actually. I'm really excited to see these cards. So this is for like what's coming up in May and or going forward, even for the weekend, etc. So we've got a lot of activity going on. The spirit world's really active, which makes sense when you got big shifts astrologically. That's when the universe gets a say in things. Right? Like, so there's white hats, there's galactic helpers, there's, bad guys in this situation, this world situation we're in, and then there's of course truthers and there's all of us, but then there's the universe. Okay. And when it makes a move, nobody can mess with that. Even if they're really demonic, they can't mess with the universe. Right. But I also get some kind of activity, really fast activity. It maybe even subtly, because this card is active but subtle, so it's not right in your face. Okay, but it does create action by military, so by good military. So we might see, so people keep your eyes open. Myself, I've been seeing nonstop planes that shouldn't be where they are, and helicopters, even really weird shaped ones. So everybody keep your eye on things like that. Keep your eyes in the sky. And if you're by water, keep your eyes open for ships and things, because there could be weird activity headed our way, positive military. And it's for the good of humans, because all of these three together look really good together. They're really exciting. So we're finally going to get a little action, it looks like, which we've been this is the past, disappointed. It hasn't happened yet. I know a lot of people are quite disappointed in how slow this is all taking and how the goalpost keeps getting moved. And I agree completely. It's irritating, but this is the outcome. So yikes. So some big shift anyway, and or awarenesses or revelations, and it's to the positive for humans. So gets us on our way to our, like, where at least normies get in on what the heck's been going on. Some kind of breakthrough there, I'll tell you, with that Tower and the Nine of Cups. Something we've been wishing for happens in a really intense way, let's say, and it somehow affects regular folks, which if that was me and what I've been wishing for, I'm hoping something really breaks through where they can't avoid the truth about at least part of this picture.
Somebody in the Insider Access Pass was saying, how much longer do we have to wait for us conspiracy theorists to be vindicated? I think not much longer, based on what Janine was just pulling in the cards now. SAS 683, they look awesome. Can't wait to buy some. Okay, and don't forget, if you want to pick those up also, the Beyond Mystic coupon code also works for the crystals, guys. This will give you an extra 10% off of those amazing Creations. And here are the lovely ladies working, packing all of your boxes here, your fragile boxes.
What a day that was. Oh, yeah.
That was the first day after the show, or the second day?
The first day right after the show, the Friday.
Yeah, there was a lot of work.
Wow.
Okay.
And I was still very, very zen and very calm, and I was the one being like super stressed out. And she was like, "Don't worry, Julie, we'll figure it out."
I think Elena hadn't figured out yet just how many bookings had come in. She knew it was big, but she didn't understand really what had just happened to her house, because really it took over her life here in the last 2 weeks. So a big thank you to all of you supporting these guys here with these amazing crystals. Just stand pat. They're coming. Don't worry. These guys are going to fulfill their orders as always. Julie, you were also pulling some cards here for the next little while. Let's see what you got.
I was asking for collective guidance for the eclipse period. So I got the card that says Weight of the World. It's from the Starseed Oracle. And it says, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So I think there's a big theme of letting go of old patterns, old habits, old karmic loops that are no longer in alignment with us, maybe collectively, but also personally. So I think there's a lot of shedding, of purging, of letting go. And on the card, the lady is like floating on water. So I think if you are able to have a relaxing bath or go into water, or I think that it's going to be probably like a natural way of healing yourself and detaching from all the negative information that might come up at this time that are not yours to carry, as the card says.
Okay, very good. Wow, what a crazy show. Patty says, I got my candles yesterday. OMG, they smell amazing. I know, they do. I have quite a few of these already in my house, and Sarah keeps putting in different rooms, and so I walk into a room, I was like, wait, it smells different than yesterday. So anyway, she's trying the different smells in the different rooms. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. Okay, what else do I have? Let me just go back to this again one last time. A few people are still asking. Yes, Janine Jailbreak is the coupon code to get 10% off the Insider Access Pass. Of course, this is where we put all of our uncensored contents, and it's a way for you to show your appreciation and to support Janine here. You can also, of course, at the bottom of the page here, use the PayPal tip jar. And at the very least, and at no cost to you, please do fill out the subscription here to the newsletter so that we can stay in contact with you if indeed we lose connection here with the 90,000 people on the Sending Ravens page. That would be very unfortunate, but it is it is what it is, as we say. So beyondmystic.net/Janine is the page. Let me bring that back up on the screen one last time for you guys. You can do a screenshot, or you can click a link in the live chat now. So I think that's it for tonight, guys. Again, please support our amazing friends here, Julie and Maison Jupiter. You can check out these amazing candles here that are on sale now with the Beyond Mystic coupon code. You can find all of her amazing content here on YouTube at Maison Jupiter at 5,415 growing strong. Congratulations, Julie. This is going really, really well. I'm really happy for you. And of course, you can also subscribe to Tarot by Janine at 157,000. Wow, amazing. Congratulations, Janine. And for now, perhaps still on Sending Ravens, we'll keep you posted as we continue to work on this problem, I guess, Janine and I here. Hopefully we can get this resolved, but things are as they are, as you understand.
And don't forget to subscribe to Beyond Mystic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, 72,600 and growing strong there. And also, I just wanted to bring your attention to all the last pay-per-views. We've been cranking this out this week, catching up on all of our production. If you haven't seen this episode, it's a jaw dropper. You might want to smudge, and viewer discretion is absolutely strongly advised. So the comments are absolutely amazing. Everybody wants us to do a part 2 to this. So if you haven't seen this Walt Disney decode and special investigation, please do go and check it out. And on the crypto, we don't have to talk about the crypto tonight. Soul Contracts we just recorded today, so that will be available in pay-per-view tomorrow. It is currently on the Insider Access Pass, as well as Beyond Crypto Woo and the Astro Woo. These two episodes here are really going to help you navigate all of these convergences for the month of May. There's a lot in there. There's about 3 hours and more of episodes in those two. Really something to consider here if you're trying to educate yourself, empower yourself here as to where things are going. So big thank you to everyone joining us tonight. A big thank you to all the PayPal tip jar donators. And I just couldn't get to all of them, so I'm saying a blanket thank you to everyone. I really appreciate that. We, of course, love you all from the bottom of our heart. This was the Sending Ravens in Jail special episode for tonight. I love you guys. Have a great evening, and please do join us tomorrow night. Janine will be back for a special episode here with Julie and myself tomorrow night of the Galactic Odyssey, and we're actually going to be doing some astrology on Janine. So there's going to be a lot of personal goodies for you there if you want to learn more about this wonderful, amazing lady that is Janine Marujo. Please do join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern here, of course, only on BeyondMystic, because we can no longer simulcast to Sending Ravens for now. So a big thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.